We're coming on just a couple minutes early, getting ready to prepare to go on to our group. So hang tight as we're waiting for the group, and I will get myself shared in here. To my groups so that I am live everywhere that we need to be. Okay. I'm just gonna give it a couple minutes because it's gonna take them a couple minutes to get us shared in. But if you see the red button above that says live, you're catching me live. If not, you are welcome to hit hashtag replay in the comments and let me know that you're joining. So come on in and say hi and let me know you're here. I am a part of the group formerly known as Sensational Creations Events, which is now going to be Craft Events by Julie. So if you haven't already followed her page, go in and follow that page. And we're just waiting to be shared into the group. And you can actually join. Hi, Sue. Glad to see you here today. So Kathy just finished at Elk River Crafting, and I'm just waiting for the thumbs up from Julie. We are a part of a group called Sensational Creations, which has just recently changed its name. Hi, Kathy. Thank you. I love your crafts. Thank you. You did a wonderful job. And I'm glad I actually got to catch you live. Hi, Debbie. Glad to come in. I'm glad you're coming in. So we are a part of, and I'm just waiting for Julie to come in and let me know that she's managed to get me shared in. We are a part of a new craft group that is formerly known as Sensational Creations. And you'll want to go in and follow Craft Events by Julie. That is going to be the new crafting group. She also has a new page, Julie's Wood Kits and More. So if you haven't already followed her page, help her get her follower numbers back up so that she can go live in 60 days. She's experiencing what I had to go through when I first started my page, which is a terrible thing to have to happen. But so go in, and if you haven't already been following, you can watch the events probably this week and next week until we get some of the details worked out on Crafting Creative Treasures. It is a free group that is available to, you can join it and watch all of the crafters that have been going throughout the day today. I just still haven't seen Julie. I'm assuming that she's probably got me shared in because I'm starting to see more people come in. But if you're just coming in, say hi, let me know you're here. We've had hi, Chris. It's good to see you. Thank you for joining. We've had a full lineup of crafters today at 11 a.m. Central. Shanta started us off at Country Creekside Creations. Then we had at noon Megan with Right House Decor. And she really kind of used some really cool blue, I don't know what they were, but they were manufactured, and she ended up turning that into a nice piece of craft artwork. And then we had at 1 p.m. Central, we had Sherry with Sunshine Designs. And then at 2 p.m. we had Kathy with CC Redesigns. And then at 3 p.m. just before me was Elk River Crafting Kathy again, who did a very nice, she did 2 pieces of crafting items. And then after me today is Lisa Mary, and with L&L Lucky Crafts. She is tagged in my post. So if you want to make sure that you're following her. 6 p.m. tonight, we have Carla at Carla's Bayou Creations. And then at the end, bringing up the rear, is Vicky at This Chick Crafts. So I am just going to have to assume, because we are already 3 minutes in, that Julie's probably got me shared into the group. And if you don't already know, you can follow this particular group in Crafting Creative Treasures right now. Oh, thank you, Julie. That's what I was waiting for. You were trying to share me into the group. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So if you aren't already following the new crafting group called Craft Events by Julie, please go and do that, because that's where we're going to be convening. And Julie's new page, business page, is Julie's Wood Kits and More. Please make sure, if you haven't followed her, that you do that. Thank you, Kathy, for confirming that I am in there. Hi, Michelle. Oh, it's so good to see you here. So today the theme is A Savior is Born. And I was all prepared to read Luke 2 for you, but then Kathy beat me to the punch, which is all good. I'm just so glad that the story was read. That is what fills my heart again, not every year, but every time I pick up Luke and I read Luke 2, I experience it. So I wanted to do something. So I don't know, some of you have seen where I did my thrifting finds and I showed this particular frame. And so I thought I would craft with it today. So I'm going to not only reuse and renew, but so I had this image that I had created with the AI, the artificial intelligence, and it has the Christmas tree, but it has Mary and baby Jesus at the bottom, and it says, "You are the greatest gift of all." And I used that with Canva, and I just pulled a little bit of artificial intelligence magic to put the images together, and then I used Canva to put the wording in the script. So that's what I did here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the frame, and then because this image is only going to go partially the way down on the page. And I did a little bit of pre-work ahead of time because I wasn't quite sure if I would finish in an hour or not, and I'd like to. So you can see it only comes down halfway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to blend some colors down here to match the image. And then what I will do is I'm going to paint the piece in a white color to kind of match a little bit of the frame. And we'll put that down at the bottom. So that's my contribution to the title, A Savior is Born. So I want to get started. I have Waverly chalk plaster paint. So I am going to paint my whole frame and everything. Ooh, starting to dry up on me. The lid, that is. And then I am going to, I think what I'll do is then I'm going to dry brush, because there's texture on the outside of the frame. I'm going to dry brush around it. Hi, Kim. It's good to see you. Thank you for joining, and thank you for sprinkling. I appreciate that. And I'm sorry if I'm missing, you guys like fly by and Now I know what it feels like when everybody says, I'm sorry if I miss the comments. But I'm going to just use the plaster paint and go over this frame on the glass as well as the frame, because what I want to do is I want to kind of make it a little bit more modern. And then because it has some texture on the outside of the frame, I'm going to dry brush it in a navy blue that I have. But I wanted to try to whip this out. I did do a little bit of pre-work where this is printed on rice paper. And so I tore around the image because I had white around it. And then in order to hide the white of the fibers, I just, I used some of my wax. I have dark sealing wax by Kills. And so I use that. Hi, Janet. Thank you for coming in. I just used that to go around the edge to hide the white fibers. When you tear any paper, after you have an image printed on it, you see the white fibers. So I wanted to hide the white fibers, but I wanted the torn edge. So I just took a few minutes ahead of time to cover those white fibers. So I am just going to go over the frame. I'm using a bigger paintbrush and covering the glass and the frame on the outside. Yes, and I thank you. Thank you, Julie. Yes, we appreciate everyone following. And if you can make sure that in the future you're following Craft Events by Julie, then we'll be able to go live in the future on there. But in the meantime, I think we're probably going to operate on the Crafting Creative Treasures page until we can get some of that figured out. Make sure that you are following our friend Julie, Julie's Wood Kits and More, so that she can get her followers back up. And we will. You can't knock us down, Satan. We are here. Okay, so I am. Okay. All right, so I've got the glass painted, as you can see. Now the harder part is just trying to get the frame to cover. I may have to do, I'm hoping not, but I might be able to quickly get a second coat on the frame because I know we don't have 2 hours to craft. I'm like, it's inevitable that I struggle to get things done in an hour. Even on my own personal private lives, I have a goal to try to get crafts done in an hour, and it never happens. I talk too much. I rattle off at the mouth. So I know Kathy had her Christmas this weekend already. Oh, no worry, Kim. Although the replays, you should be able to find the replays on Crafting Creative Treasures. It is a free crafting group that you can join and watch all of the replays there. That way you won't have to try to go find each creator. But I know Kathy had Christmas this weekend with her family. And I know with most of us, we all have two sides of the family. And so some of you or most of you know, my son graduated Saturday from college. So it's almost felt like I got to go through graduation again from college. And his dad and I have been celebrating right along with him because that means there's no more tuition payments. And so, and God blessed us with the ability to be able to pay his tuition so that he did not come out of college, somewhere between $60,000 and $100,000 in debt, depending upon the number of classes and how many times he needed to retake some of those classes. But he did manage to graduate, and he's got a 3-point. It's tough to graduate with college with a 3-point anything. I know I did not manage to graduate with a 3-point, but he did. He graduated, I think, with a 3.2. It wasn't enough to get him cum laude, but I'm still proud of him. He did far better than I did. I think when I graduated college, I was at a 2.8. So, but I was always a C student, but it's okay. I graduated college. I made it through. Yes. And then the free group craft events by Julie, and I have been kind of preaching that all along. We are in a Savior's Born event, and we've had a really good lineup today. Not that we don't always have a good lineup, but we have a good lineup today with doing the Savior's Born. And at 11 o'clock, we had Shanta with Country Creekside Creations. 12, we had Megan with Right House Decor. 1 p.m., we had Sherry with Sunshine Designs. 2 p.m. was with Kathy at CC Redesigns. And then at 3 p.m., just before me, was Kathy with Elk River Crafting. After me is Lisa Mary with L&L Lucky Crafts at 5 p.m. Central. 6 p.m. Central is Carla with Carla's Bayou Creations. And 7 p.m. is Vicky with This Chick Crafts. So we have still some more great crafters coming along to finish up the day. And you can watch the entire group right now. You can watch them on the Crafting Creative Treasures. In the future, we'll all be appearing on Craft Events by Julie. So I am just going to try to finish this up real quick. I feel like I'm talking too much and not painting. But so with Saturday, we had the graduation. We had 16 people over at our house in our small little house. For his graduation party. And that was just kind of like family that we had over, close friends and family that he's kind of grown up with. And then on Sunday, the family that had traveled here, our family members that traveled here from Oregon, we did our own little Christmas celebration on Sunday evening after we got back from church. So we've already had one Christmas, and now Christmas, like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, will just be the three of us, because the rest of the family live in Illinois. So does everybody else have like multiple Christmases, or are you just sticking around home? Okay, I think I am getting it. I'm going to make sure that, watch your ear if you have earbuds in. I'm going to use the dryer for a second. I'm going to try to dry the frame a little bit, because what I'd like to do is, if I can get the dark color to not bleed through, then I'm going to dry brush it with a navy blue acrylic to see what that looks like. If not, my other thought is I'll come back and crackle it, because I like to do the crackle too. But the crackling takes a lot more steps than I'm prepared to do today. but I'll share photos of the completed project when I'm done too. So does everybody have multiple Christmases, or is it just Kathy and I? Because I know Kathy said she also has to go to her in-laws and then go to her parents at Christmas. So that is hopefully my chats are still, and I do have, if I have like hashtag Telegram if you want to follow me, or not hashtag, exclamation Telegram set up if you want to follow my, get notifications in Telegram that I'm going live. And I realized that I neglected to do that. It's hard to do that because I was working and then turned around and did this. So I was trying to keep up, and I am so sorry. Hi, Marianne. Welcome in. We are in the Craft Events by Julie, and we are doing an event titled A Savior is Born. And so every one of us have had some form of image that has baby Jesus on it, because he is the reason for Christmas. And so, okay, I think I got a few spots that are still a little wet, but they should be able to dry. Okay, we're gonna see if I can quickly whip out, because I think my goal is to dry brush with that navy blue. I want it to match the image, so that's kind of my thought. And let's see if I can get, there's some spots where that dark frame is showing through. So we managed to get my son graduated, and he is decompressing right now. You wanted to let me know that your husband made it home? Awesome. Now your kids are spending the time with you for Christmas. Oh, wonderful. I'm so happy for you, Marianne. And thank you for letting me know, because that just tells me. And so I'm going to come back. I'm not going to do it on the live, but you can see the dark edges of the frame. I am going to come back and paint the edges of the frame, but I don't want to waste the time doing it here on the live, because I'm trying to be cautious with my time, as time flies by when you're having fun. So I'm just trying to cover some of that darkness on the frame, and then we can start the fun part, because I can see where it's coming through in some areas, not all areas. I did pretty good job. Just put a light second coat on to kind of cover up some of the shadowing. All right, there we go. Looked like my comments had stopped there for a minute, and I just had to move my mouse on my computer so I could see. Oh, Lindell, are you in here, Lindell? I'm so happy to have you here today. Welcome, my friend. I've been praying for you, sister. As well. I pray for a lot of people, but okay. So I think I've got the major part of it. Okay, earbuds, hold your ears. I'm coming with the heat gun again. And I'm so so glad that everybody was able to find us, because we are in a new group called Craft Events by Julie. So if you haven't already followed Craft Events by Julie, make sure that you do that so that Julie can get her followers back up and running, and then you'll start seeing our event group show up there. We are formally known as the Sensational Creations group, and we still have Julie with Julie's Wood Kits and More. If you haven't followed her at her new page, make sure you do that, Julie's Wood Kits and More. And then we still have Carla with Carla's Bayou Creations as an admin as well, and Sybil with Sib's Crafty Shack are our admins today. And so I thank all three of them for putting in the time, because it is a tough job to run an event. Okay, so it looks like I'm doing pretty good. I'll show you. I didn't worry too much about the glass, because I am going to cover the image, but what I did want to do was kind of keep the dark from the back of the frame from coming through. So that's kind of what we ended up with. And I just found, of course, the only wet spot on the place, and I found it and put my finger in it. So, so that's kind of what we've got now is the frame. Because now when I touch my image, I'm going to put the paint all over it. I'm a sloppy crafter. That's all there is to it. Okay, so let me grab the lid, because I don't want to knock over my paint, because I've been known to do that, and then everything's just a mess. Okay, so I have this old Anita's acrylic craft paint, and it is navy blue. So I don't even know that this is available anymore. It might be. I don't know where you can get it, but it's an old navy blue, and I was gifted like a big box of acrylic paints from the neighbor lady down the street when she was cleaning out her craft supplies. So let's see. So what I'm going to do is I want to dry brush the outside. Ooh, it's kind of thick. And there we go. It's getting old, because you can see kind of some of the, one of these days I'll break down and quit being so frugal. Okay. And I pulled out a burgundy. It's called Deep Burgundy, and it's Deco Art Americana paint, and it's deep burgundy. I think I purchased this one at Hobby Lobby, because I needed a deep burgundy a while back, and I didn't want to mix the paint to get the maroon, because I never can mix enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I have just a bristle brush that is one of the stiffer bristle brushes, and I'm going to really just load and then offload the paint so that I have paint on my brush, but it's barely. And so what I'm going to do is, and I'm just using the smaller brush, because what I want to do is I want the texture on the outside of the frame to show up. And so I'll show you in just a minute as I'm crafting it, so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. kind of see. Oh, there you go. Okay, it's not as bad reflection. So you can see where I just dry brushed the blue. Well, my goal is to have that kind of match the image. There's a lot of dark blues and burgundies in the background. So that's why I am doing that. I want to kind of make those blend and match. Okay. Oh, you can get the Anitas at Hobby Lobby? Cool. I didn't know you could still get it. I haven't bought acrylic paint since I bought this, and it was like in the cheapest section possible. So, you know, there's that Cheryl is frugal. Okay, so I am going to go all the way around with a little bit of this dry brush and dry brush the blue on. And it seems to go pretty quickly. There's not tons, because you just don't need tons of, when you're dry brushing, you don't need tons of paint on your paintbrush. Hi, Sherry. Thank you for coming in. Oh, hold on. Siri on my old phone thought she was going to answer me. She thought I said Siri instead of Sherry. So, Julie, you went to Hobby Lobby on Saturday? Cool. I was in a graduation, so I didn't get to go shopping. But I hope everybody is ready for Christmas. I think the only thing that we have to do is get things out to start thawing. I think my husband decided that he is going to, every year he likes to do prime rib. And so he does prime rib on our Traeger, which is like a smoker. If you don't know what a Traeger is. Okay, so here we go. Let me make sure it's dry before I pick it up, because again, I'll stick my fingers in it. Watch your ears. I'm going to use the... Well, hi, Lisa Mary. Yep. I had to do the same thing when I was watching Kathy with Elk River Crafting, is I had to prep and prepare while she was on, because I had worked all day, and then in between prepping and preparing, I had to send out a couple emails to my customers. So kind of have to multitask. Okay, so this is how the frame is ending up. And I'm doing everything on top of the glass of the frame. You could probably do the image under the glass if you wanted to, but because the piece, which I'm going to paint next, I'm going to paint that in the plaster as well, the plaster color, that actually will not fit under the glass, so I just decided to go ahead and put it on top. Oh, so you had to turn off Siri on your phone because every time you go live and you... Yes. Well, it's an old phone, so this phone here is not the same phone that you guys are watching me on. It's my old phone, and I keep it here so that if I need to use a timer or something. And, yeah, I didn't think she was going to listen to me or talk back to me, but she did. So if I am certain I am missing comments. So if I miss your comment, I will go back and respond, a little bit later. I'm just going to coat the top of this with the plaster paint, the Waverly plaster paint. Because what I'm going to do, once I get the image down, I'm going to use that blue and that burgundy I was talking about to kind of blend the bottom of it so that it's dark behind the piece, the letters, the piece letters. And this is just wood. I think when the last time we were at Hobby Lobby, I did buy it at Hobby Lobby, but to be honest, I can't remember. They had a sale, and I don't, of course, anytime I go to Hobby Lobby, I don't buy anything unless it's on sale. But, they had several of these letters on sale. They were like pre-cut words. And so I grabbed quite a few of them. And so I may have paid, I don't know, $1.50 or so. I mean, they weren't super expensive. And there was like peace, love, joy, hope. So I bought quite a few of them. But, so I'm just gonna, that little area is not covering. So I'm gonna go, okay. So I can set this aside. And I might decide after, I might end up dry brushing a little bit of blue on this too, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna put the lid back on the plaster paint. Okay. All right, so I'm going to set that off the top of my page here. Let me clean my hands, because now I'm going to get ready, and we're going to put the, I'm going to Mod Podge the back of the paper. Now, this is rice paper, and this image is something that I came up with artificial intelligence, and I used the AI on Canva. And I just, I did an image of a Christmas tree that was lit up at night with, baby Jesus. There's baby Jesus and Mary at the base of the tree. And then it says in cursive writing, it says, "You are the greatest gift of all." So what I'm going to do is make sure that I'm right side up. And my plan is to put, and what I think I'll do, because I don't have a small iron that would fit very well inside the frame, I'm going to have to do the wet application, I think. But all I did was just try it to make sure that the image fit. So I printed this on rice paper, and then I tore the white edges off. And if you want to, I saved this image on my page. I believe on the photos page or the featured side, one of those tabs on my page. You can get this image. There's no copyright to it. It's mine. I'm sharing with everybody, and I have other images there that you're welcome to. So, but I tore the image, and then what I did was I used my, I have some brown dark wax that I covered up the white fibers, because I did not want the white fibers to show. So what I'm going to do is I am going to possibly, I had the right, oh, here it is. Okay. Yes, I threw away the old paintbrush, folks. Finally, it got so stiff and so hard I couldn't use it. So I tossed it. It is in the garbage. But, so this is just the regular little Mod Podge. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to put, hopefully, a liberal amount of Mod Podge on the back of the rice paper. That way I can just keep the Mod Podge to the image and not have to over glue it. I'm seeing some specks of cinnamon in there. I did a tin can the other day, and I was too lazy. And I'll be the first to admit it. There are plenty of times where I am lazy. So I just stuck my paintbrush back into the Mod Podge when I was doing the cinnamon on the tin can. And so now I just won't be using this in the Mod Podge to seal my images. Okay, I think hopefully that's not drying quickly. And I will pull this back up. Okay, we're gonna lay it down. I probably should have now thinking, oh no. Yep, see, I got my glued fingers. Okay, first let me do this because I got Mod Podge all over my fingers. And that's what happens when you have paint on your... But I'm just going to use the plastic to kind of rub the image down. And I can mix a little bit of paint and try to touch up those white paint spots where I had paint on my finger when I touched the image. Okay. All right. So you can see where the white paint is. But it's okay. It's on a spot in the background where I can mix a little bit of my blue and my burgundy to cover some of that up. So it, not going to hurt a thing. All right. So I am going to have to clean up my lids before I put everything away to store because they will. Okay. So I'm going to watch your ears if you have earbuds. I'm going to dry the image real quick before I start painting. Make sure that it's sealed down, that I don't get any extra bubbles, or that it actually is glued and that the glue didn't dry before. Can't tell if it's hard to know if your comments stop or not. Let me see if the... Okay, I'm just refreshing here real quick because I think my comments stopped. I'm gonna get myself muted. There we go. Yeah. Okay, they did. Okay, cool. So now I think I'm back where I can see comments. Okay. All right, so now I don't think I need the white, so I'm going to stick that paintbrush in, stick my Mod Podge paintbrush in. Okay, so I still have my paintbrush, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start mixing a little bit of the blue, the navy blue and the burgundy to kind of start coming up with some of the darker colors that's in the background back here. And I'm going to just try to mix them and then paint that area down below because I don't necessarily want the white. And you can do that sometimes by just loading your brush with both colors and mixing it on the... I just have a paper plate that I can throw away after. And I just pull in, maybe not one of those glue strings, but, it's acrylic paint, so after a while it gets old. Okay, So you can kind of see that I've gotten like a darker, like burgundy color. And so, and I want a little bit of that maroon and that dark blue because it's kind of, it's kind of turning out to be like a purple. Let me see if I can, yeah, I can make it blend into the background as well. So I am just kind of, I'm blending it in the bottom. Into the bottom of the image so that it looks like it's just a continuation of the art. So I'll show you in just a second so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Oop, I just got, okay, so here, kind of started blending it. It's a little bit lighter here because of where the glow of the Christmas tree is, but, and I can lighten that up a little bit by, if I want to, by adding white to it and kind of painting it, but I'm just bringing it in to kind of cover that area up first. And because it's a bristle brush, I'm kind of more doing a stippling effect. And then I'm going to come back in and load up my blue and make splotches of blue. And come back and get a little bit of that maroon so that it does the same thing as the background of the photo. And then I'll show you a little bit more. But I'm just, because I'm using my dry brush, and I'm going to have to come back and do a little bit of touch up, but that's okay. That's, with anything, it's just paint. You can cover it up. So, get a little bit more of my color, load my brush so that I can fill up that. And I might come back and dry brush with a little bit of that burgundy on the frame too. I'm thinking it could use it. What do you guys think? Thank you, Christina. I didn't even notice or realize that you were here. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Okay, so let me get a little bit of that blue and burgundy worked into that kind of purplish burgundy color so you can see a little bit more about what I'm talking about when you blend, because you can make, and you know, if you have like color paint, you don't have to even have the right colors. You can mix colors to make your colors match. And it's still wet. What I'll do is I'll come in, but you can kind of see, and then I can come in with the white while it's, and let me just get a small, let me see. I want a small one because I don't want, and I think I'll get white acrylic. So this is just my Crafters Collection white acrylic that I bought in practically a 5-gallon vat. I go through it so fast. But I buy this at Hobby Lobby because I like my black and my red, or my black and my white. I use a lot of it, so I just have that. So I just have a small brush, and I'm just very lightly. I don't have tons of paint on my paintbrush, and even could take off some. And I'm just gonna kind of come in here. And I can lighten up that area just down by, and I'm doing it where the paint is still wet. So it's easier to blend it, obviously. So I'm just kind of, I don't know if I like that. I kind of liked it when it was darker. Okay. Now that I know, I'll just come back with my, so you can see what I did. And, I mean, it has a little bit, but it doesn't really blend with the lighter color. And I didn't mix my colors to match that, which I certainly could. But I liked it when it was darker, so I'm just going to go back and kind of cover it up. It's just paint. And it's not a disaster. So I'm going to come back with a little bit of that blue and just kind of mix it into the background. And that burgundy. And you can work the paint as much as you desire. So if you want it fully blended, you can fully blend it. If you want it, and I took it out. The white is gone. So nothing is impossible. So I'm going to watch your ears. I'm going to dry this. I will probably come back, and on these edges I can see some of the white under the frame where the image is, but I'll touch that up. And then any spots where I might have touched the edge, it's paint. It's paint over it and dry brush the blue again. I might add a little bit of maroon. Okay. We got about 10 minutes. I don't have much left to do. We're going to dry this, and we'll decide about the piece. I'm going to dry that part that I've painted. It's got a little bit of a texture because I kind of did a little bit of a stippling instead of just painting it. If with that type of paint, it's got the stiffer bristles, you'll end up, if you just paint it, you'll end up with the streaks of the paintbrush. And so, because it's glass under, and I did the white chalk paint under that, you would easily see. So that's why I ended up kind of stippling it as if it were, what you were doing was just stippling on like a template, a stencil. So I'll show you here in just a second. Just want to make sure what that is. Okay. So it does have a little bit of a texture, but I'm okay with that too, because what I'm going to do is when we put the piece, so you can see that is dried, and you almost really can't tell, even, in person, other than I can see where the edge of the paper is. But when I put the piece in here, you're not even gonna know. So I'm gonna glue it in there. So I got a question for you guys. Should I leave the piece white, or should I dry brush it to kind of match the frame? And do I add like maroon? I guess. Too many questions. One question at a time. Do I dry brush the piece with a little bit of that blue? And if I do, let me see. Get this other paintbrush ready. So let me know what you guys think. And my piece is not quite dry, so I'm gonna have to dry it for a second, because I stuck my finger in some sections of the paint. So let me know what you think. You just like it white, okay? I got one vote for white. It does stand out, doesn't it, in the dark? Okay. Anybody else gonna give me their 2 cents? If not, we'll leave it white. Do I add burgundy to the frame along with the blue? So I've got 1 vote for leave it white and 1 vote to dry brush it blue with a little bit of blue. I need a tiebreaker. Okay. All right. And I'll set it up so you can see it, so you can decide. So there is the piece. Do I dry brush it with blue or I leave it white? And I've got 1 vote for each right now. And stay tuned. I know we're getting close to the end here. Stay tuned for Lisa Mary, because she will be up next after me, and she is tagged in my post. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, so I guess I'm going to have to tie break. I think I might have to, it just doesn't seem to match the frame very well. So I think I'm going to have to go with Michelle. Oh, Christina says leave it white. Okay, we're going to leave it white. So I got 2 votes for white. Okay. So we're going to glue this. And I'm just going to use my Beacon 3-in-1 to glue it down. Ooh, I keep it stored upside down, and it really wants to come pouring out when I take the cap off. Okay, so last question. I think I'd like it either way. The white does kind of stand out a little bit, but it's okay. I got 2 votes for white. We're going to leave it white. Okay. Sorry. Glue strings. So we're going to glue that down. I don't think, okay. So it won't take long to adhere. Pretty much. So if you have just joined and you don't know, so this is Sensational Creations Events Group. We are now coming under the name Craft Events by Julie. So if you haven't already, go follow that or join that particular group and follow Julie at Julie's Wood Kits and More to help her get her followership back up again. You're going to be able to watch us as a group in all of the lives, so you don't have to go chase each one of us down. And Crafting Creative Treasures it's a free group you can join to watch the whole lineup. All of the replays will be there. So this is what we ended up with for piece right now. Now, I think I probably will go in around, I can see some white between the edges, like between the image and the edge here. And I think maybe what I'll do is, I think to tie some of the burgundy in, I'll probably dry brush a little bit of the burgundy. So I know we're getting close on time. We've got like 2 minutes left. So with that, I'll run down on the list real quick again. I want to thank Julie. You've been going through a lot, girlfriend, and I want to thank you, Julie with Wood Kits and More, Carla with Carlo's Bayou Creations, and Sib with Sib's Crafty Shack, who are our admins for this particular group. And at 11 a.m., we started off with Country Creekside Creations with Shanta. At noon, we had the Right House Decor with Megan. At 1 p.m., we had Sherry at Sunshine Designs. At 3 p.m., just before me was 2 p.m. was CC Redesigns with Kathy. And then Kathy with Elk River Crafting was just before me at 3 p.m. After me is Lisa Mary with L&L Lucky Crafts. After that, at 6 p.m. is Carla's Bayou Creations with Carla. And 7 p.m. is This Chick Crafts with Vicky. So I want to thank everybody for joining the group. Make sure that you go and follow Craft Events by Julie, so that in the future, when that frees up, we'll be able to watch the event group there. In the meantime, Crafting Creative Treasures is going to be the page that you will see us on. And don't forget to follow Julie at Woodkits and More. Julie Woodkits and More. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so appreciative. I really appreciate everybody joining, coming and watching and sharing with me and sharing their time with me. Time is a precious gift, and I appreciate your gift. So with that, I think we have about 1 minute left. And again, I'll share pictures after I get the dry brushing done with the maroon, because I think it'll tie it in really nicely with the maroon on the frame. So go and switch over and watch Lisa Mary at L&L Creations. And I thank everybody for their time, and I thank everybody that has presented today for their talents. God bless everybody.